Dr. Fletcher, have you read the extensive study on the effect the Arctic warming is having on the planet's environment?
Yes, I have read what you call an extensive study, but you know as well as I that that study was politically motivated.
Are you saying the Arctic is not warming?
I'm saying what you think is warming the Arctic is not the actual reason.
If the Arctic and the polar ice caps continue to melt at this rate, within 50 years, 60% of the world's land masses will be reclaimed by the sea.
Yes, and 30 years ago, people like you said we were heading into our next ice age.
So now you dispute your own findings.
No, that's not the point. What I'm saying is we take no radical action now.
What you're suggesting is that you be allowed further study while we risk worldwide disaster.
You're not taking into account what the real cause may be.
Really? And what is that?
Transmissions from under the ice that need to be analyzed.
Are we again going to continue with this so-called theory about intelligent transmission coming from the source? Maybe you are interested in becoming a guest speaker on the television show Alien Phenomena.
I'm not a television speaker, Doctor. I'm a scientist like yourself.
Let's simplify the question. What is your theory on the source of the Arctic warming?
During the first recorded spike in temperatures, there were transmissions.
Transmissions.
A series of pulses from the bottom of the ice cap. 72 hours ago, the USS Jimmy Carter was almost lost after it recorded a matching transmission, then received a massive energy pulse.
Miss Fletcher, I've also read the report. This so-called energy pulse is much more likely to be the concussion from the torpedo that the submarine fired, which was prematurely detonated.
But the transmission, the object that the submarine was firing at, don't you think that deserves a little further study?
You admit, as a scientist, that these pulses could be nothing more than magma displacement or an error in the sensor equipment. As for the objects, with the continuing destruction of the northern polar cap, it could be nothing more than falling ice. Miss Fletcher. So, Miss Fletcher and I disagree as to how to solve the Arctic warming problem. I want to use seismic torpedoes, while Miss Fletcher would like to wait and study the situation indefinitely.
Not indefinitely.
Understandably, Miss Fletcher worries about the environment and is fearful of what may be perceived as a radical solution. With that stated, I'm asking this committee for a vote on the removal of Miss Fletcher from active duty.
This is supposed to be a conference.
You had your conference. Now we're having a vote as to whether this committee is to be subjected to your further ravings. May I have a show of hands? Those who feel that Miss Fletcher should be allowed to continue her research at the hubris. Now, may I see those who wish to end Miss Fletcher's tenure, so to expedite a solution and to head off a worldwide crisis? Thank you. Miss Fletcher?
Fletcher, although you are no longer working at the Hubert Research Station, you are still legally obligated not to inform the media of the full nature of the problem.
Yes, thank you, Doctor. I am very well aware of the terms of my confidentiality agreement. I mean, we wouldn't want the world to know that the G8 nations are planning on nuking the North Pole now, would we?